The fish in that can may not be fish at all. Scientists ran DNA tests on canned tuna pulled from grocery store shelves across America. What they found was Escolar sitting in cans labeled tuna. Escolar is so toxic to the human digestive system that Japan and Italy have banned it from sale entirely. It causes uncontrollable gastrointestinal illness. There is no safe serving size, and it has been sitting on your shelf labeled as something else. My name is Dan Miller. I have been feeding this household on a real grocery budget since 1987, and I thought canned tuna was one thing I never had to question. Last month, I sent 7 of the most purchased canned tuna brands in America to an independent laboratory. DNA testing, species verification, Mercury analysis, the kind of testing that tells you exactly what species is inside the can, regardless of what the label claims. 5 brands could not deliver what the label promised. 2 did. Let's start with the worst one first. Number 1, StarKist. Charlie the tuna has been trying to get caught since 1961. That is the joke. The mascot with taste. The fish who wanted to be good enough for StarKist. Charlie never mentioned the federal criminal conviction. StarKist pleaded guilty to federal price-fixing charges in 2019. The fine was $100 million. StarKist, Bumblebee, and Chicken of the Sea coordinated pricing across the American canned tuna market for years. Regardless of which can a consumer picked up, they were paying whatever the cartel had agreed on. The Department of Justice investigated. StarKist pleaded guilty. Charlie kept smiling. That conviction alone should give every family pause. But the sourcing problems run deeper than the price fixing. Independent ocean conservation institutions have flagged species substitution in StarKist product lines. Cans labeled albacore containing skipjack. Cans labeled light tuna containing species that were not identified as tuna at all. DNA sequencing does not lie about what is in the can. The label sometimes does. Then there is Mercury. Certain StarKist varieties have tested above FDA advisory thresholds in independent laboratory analysis. Mercury crosses the placental barrier. It affects neurological development in fetuses and young children. Pregnant women and families with young children are the most vulnerable population. They are also the core StarKist consumer demographic. $100 million in fines. 0 changes to the label. Charlie is still smiling. Number 2, Chicken of the Sea. You have seen this mermaid your entire life. She has been on that can since 1914. It is not just a brand. It is a pantry fixture that outlasted every food trend, every economic crisis, every generation of grocery shopping. That feeling is the product. The fish behind it is a different story. Chicken of the Sea is owned by Thai Union, a Thai corporation controlling roughly 20% of the global canned seafood market. The Associated Press published a landmark investigation into Thai Union supply vessels. What they found was forced labor. Men trafficked onto fishing boats, held at sea for years, no pay, no contract, no way off. That investigation won a Pulitzer Prize. Thai Union issued statements, joined sustainability coalitions. The mermaid kept smiling. Independent audits conducted after those initial investigations continued to flag unresolved sourcing issues. What happens on the water remains significantly harder to verify than what gets printed on a label. The supply chain is this large and this opaque. The verification systems that should catch substitution before a can is sealed are the same systems the corporation controls and self-reports. Species substitution in canned tuna is not a theoretical risk. It is a documented reality. She is not smiling for you, she is smiling for Thai Union. Number 3, Bumblebee Foods. This one completed the criminal triangle. StarKist pleaded guilty. Chicken of the Sea cooperated with investigators. Bumblebee went furthest. Chief Executive Officer Christopher Leshevsky was convicted at trial in 2019 and sentenced to 40 months in federal prison. Not a settlement, not a plea agreement, a jury conviction. The man running one of the most recognizable canned tuna brands in America was found guilty and sent to prison. Budget families and general consumers are still buying Bumblebee without knowing any of that happened. The company filed for bankruptcy the same year as the conviction, restructured under new private equity ownership, emerged with updated packaging, sustainability language, and renewed commitments to sourcing transparency. Here is the test for whether a restructured company has genuinely changed. Look at what is verifiably different about how the product is sourced, tested, and certified. Bumblebee post-restructuring still carries no independent third-party species verification across its product lines. There is no named fishery on the standard label. There is no audit trail a consumer can follow from the ocean to the can in the grocery aisle. A company that spent years coordinating criminal behavior did not develop supply chain transparency after a bankruptcy filing. 40 months for the chief executive officer. 0 changes for the can. Number 4. Great value tuna. Walmart did not catch this fish. That needs to be said clearly. Budget families reach for great value tuna with the same baseline trust they extend to everything carrying the Walmart name. The store feels reliable. The price feels honest. The label feels like Walmart standing behind what is inside. Walmart is a procurement operation. They do not have fishing vessels. They do not have marine biologists verifying species before the can is sealed. They have contracts. Those contracts go to whoever can deliver the product at the lowest cost per unit that meets the minimum legal requirement for putting a can on an American shelf. The minimum legal requirement is extraordinarily low. The manufacturer producing great value tuna this quarter may not be the manufacturer producing it next quarter. The label stays identical. The facility changes. The species verification standards of whoever won the contract that quarter become the standards of the can you are holding. DNA testing on store-brand tuna products has consistently produced some of the highest species substitution rates in the entire canned tuna category. The economics explain why. When the contract mandate is lowest cost per unit, species verification is the first cost that gets cut. Budget families deserve to know what they are buying when they reach for the lowest price in the aisle. This is not a deal. This is an unknown. Number 5. Market Pantry. Target built one of the most powerful retail aesthetics in American consumer culture. Clean lines. A store that feels elevated above the average grocery experience. Shoppers reach for Market Pantry products specifically because the Target environment transfers a sense of quality onto everything sold inside it. That assumption is doing all the work. The supply chain behind Market Pantry tuna is doing none of it. Market Pantry is a Target private label. Target does not fish. Target does not process tuna. Target designs labels and manages procurement contracts. The product inside the can is produced by whoever won the supply contract at the lowest price point that quarter. The structural problem is identical to great value. Different aesthetic. Same accountability gap. There is no named fishery on Market Pantry tuna. No MSC certification. No third-party species verification. No independent Mercury testing disclosed to consumers. Health-conscious shoppers paying a meaningful premium over great value pricing are getting none of those things. The premium went entirely to the design team that made the label look cleaner, not to the supply chain team verifying what went inside. You paid extra for a font. Number 6. Genova Tuna. The name does something specific to health-conscious millennials. Genova. It sounds like a family operation hand-packing olive oil tuna in a coastal Italian facility for 4 generations. The Italian name, the olive oil, the slightly higher price point. A complete sensory story before you open the can. That story is a carefully constructed aesthetic, not a sourcing guarantee. Genova is owned by Bolton Food, an Italian corporation with significant global seafood processing operations. The tuna in Genova cans is not always Italian caught or Italian processed. It is sourced from global supply chains that prioritize cost and availability, the same way every other mass-market brand sources its fish. The difference is that Genova charges a premium for the Italian name while sourcing through the same opaque international networks. Then there is the olive oil itself. Genova labels olive oil-packed tuna. The quality and origin of that olive oil is not disclosed. Olive oil is one of the most frequently adulterated food products in the world. Oils tested independently have repeatedly been found to contain cheaper vegetable oil blends. A premium tuna product packed in unverified olive oil is a premium aesthetic built on two unverified ingredients. You paid for the Italian coast, you got a label inspired by it. Number 7. Safe Catch Elite. This is the one that hurts most to include. Safe Catch built its entire brand around one promise no other canned tuna company was making. Every single fish individually Mercury tested before it goes into a can. Not batch tested, not sample tested. Every fish. The brand targets pregnant women and cancer patients explicitly. People for whom mercury exposure is not a general health concern, but a specific and serious medical risk. That mercury promise is real. It is verified. It is the most meaningful consumer protection commitment in the entire canned tuna category. This brand is on the list for a different reason. Safe Catch has positioned itself so completely as a health product that the consumers buying it have stopped reading the full ingredient panel. They bought the mercury promise and assumed everything else matched that same standard of care. Sodium levels in certain Safe Catch varieties run significantly higher than the health food positioning implies. For pregnant women managing blood pressure. For cancer patients managing cardiovascular strain during treatment. The sodium load in a product they believe was specifically designed for their health needs deserves full disclosure. It does not receive it. The mercury testing is genuinely best in class. The full nutritional picture is less impressive than the brand's positioning suggests. Read the full panel, not just the promise on the front. Now, two brands that held up under every test. Safe Pick 1, Wild Planet, pole and line caught. One fish at a time. No bycatch. No net dragging unintended species into the processing facility alongside the target catch. The fisheries are named. The catch regions are documented. The supply chain has a paper trail from a specific ocean location to the can in your hand. Non-GMO verified. No added water. No fillers. Wild Planet albacore tuna reads 2 ingredients on the label. Albacore tuna, sea salt, species verified through independent third-party DNA testing. Mercury tested, results disclosed. B, P, A-free can lining. 0 recalls since founding. It costs more than StarKist. That cost is the pole and line fishing, the named fisheries, the independent testing, and the refusal to substitute a cheaper species when the target catch runs short. You are not paying for a label. You are paying for actual tuna from a verified source. Safe Pick 2, American tuna. American albacore. Caught off the United States Pacific coast by American fishing families. Processed in American facilities under domestic regulatory oversight. Family-owned. Never acquired by a conglomerate. Never absorbed into a corporate portfolio that prioritizes margin over sourcing integrity. The supply chain is the simplest in the entire canned tuna category. American boats catch American albacore in verified Pacific Coast fishing grounds. That fish goes directly to processing without the multi-country journey that creates substitution opportunities at every transfer point. Independent species. Verification confirms what the label states. Mercury levels in American albacore from Pacific Coast waters test consistently within safe ranges. The sodium levels are honest. The ingredient panel is short enough to read in 10 seconds. The families behind American tuna have their names and livelihoods attached to the quality of every can. That accountability is not a marketing claim. It is structural. Go check your pantry right now. Open every can you have. 7 brands running behind labels that criminal courts, Pulitzer Prize-winning journalists, and independent DNA labs have already exposed. 2 that earned exactly what the label says. Next time you are in the tuna aisle, flip the can over. Look for a named fishery. Look for independent species verification. Look for mercury testing results that are disclosed rather than implied. If the sourcing information on the back is vaguer than the branding on the front, put it back. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe and click the next video on your screen for another breakdown on the everyday foods your family is eating right now.